Let us get going with our morning routine. So first thing we're going to do is the heart-focused breathing, and this is where we place awareness in the area of our heart and take slow, deep breaths, and visualize these flowing in and out of your heart. And I'll put up the animation there in front of you so that you can follow the sine wave, or you can keep pace at your own pace. So take the important part is to focus the attention in the area of your heart and take slow, deep breaths and allow these breaths and visualize them flowing in and out of your heart. So you can follow the ball along or do whatever is comfortable for you. So let us begin now. We are recording. Take a slow, deep breath in and exhale. And allow your body to slow down gracefully and with ease. Wonderful. Just feel your body just becoming present. Put a gentle smile on your face as you do this exercise. Anytime throughout the day you feel some sort of an emotion coming on that is not calm or ease, or that is not happy or joy, begin to do this deep breathing technique and it'll plug the energy drain. Your emotions can either draw a lot of energy or fuel your body with a lot of energy. And you can imagine what kind of emotions draw down your energy. And that is frustration, anxiety, depression, anger. And the kind of emotions that actually recharge your energy levels, those are happiness, joy. And your body you don't need to have that in front of you. You need to imagine it and your body won't know the difference. Just keep taking those deep breaths in and out. And signal your body to begin the rejuvenating process, to begin the healing process, and to repair and restore all your diseased cells. Deep breaths in. Exhale. Wonderful. So thank you for your comments on the chat box. Thank you on our good morning from Calgary. Yes, it is beautiful. I look outside my window and it's all white. So I guess it's Christmas time again. Today's lesson is heart is a beacon of hope. Now we all know that the heart receives because we feel the pain and compassion and grief, and we always feel it in our hearts first. But we also, some of us may not know that the heart actually emits energy. They emit energy with the same kind of emotions that we have capacity to feel. So you can actually beam out the emotions you want. So today's lesson, in the next 4 minutes or so, we'll talk about how this is. Now, first, the first point there, the heart receives. Everyone can relate to that, that we can receive and feel pain. But not too many people know that the heart's magnetic field carries a signature, and that signature is your emotional state, and others can feel that state. People say communication is percent of communication is non-body language. Well, I believe that the majority of that non-body language is actually what people feel when they're around you. You could be telling them, buy this if you're a salesperson. They may feel awkward. They may not want to buy that. Not because they don't like the product, but they just don't feel the energy. They don't resonate with your energy. And the same product could be sold by some other salesperson where you feel more comfortable. We usually attribute that to, I trust this person more. But the trust comes from a feeling that says, you know what, I want to connect with this person. And that is your heart's power. Your heart can actually emit energy that can affect people around you. So if you have a workplace or a home environment which is charged with negative energy sometimes, take a minute and do this heart focused breathing technique that we just did and the quick coherence technique that we are about to do, and begin to take the slow deep breaths and experience positive emotions flowing in and out of your heart, and you will see your energy signature, the magnetic field that you're sitting in a bubble of. That magnetic field will begin to transform others around you. Now, here's the more important aspect of that the power of your heart is that energy signature is multidimensional. If more than one or two of you get together and focus your intention on nothing but love, compassion, and appreciation, and you take deep breaths and you beam that out and visualize that going across the globe, you can change consciousness worldwide. As a matter of fact, there have been numerous studies that have shown this they have shown that people who sit down with a focused meditative intention have reduced crime rates in regions where they've done that. Greg Braden talks about a formula of square root of 1% of a population doing meditation and focused, peaceful intention can transform the entire population of that region. Square root of 1/2 of 1% of that of the number that's needed to transform that entire population. If you Google the Maharishi effect on YouTube or perhaps on Google, if you Google it, you will see how an experiment in New Jersey where they sat down, the Maharishi Transcendental Meditation folks sat down, they started meditating, and the crime rates dropped tremendously in that region. And so those are studies, those are correlations. Obviously, we cannot put a real, scientific you cannot establish a scientific way because they're correlations. That means we call them coincidences, but really everywhere where these focused intentions have been taking place, things have happened. So what can you do about focused intention, about the strife that's happening in the for the United States folks and perhaps others in the world? We're seeing a lot of turmoil there. We're seeing a lot of uprising, where grassroots movements are coming there to counter United States presidential executive orders. Well, if we're feeling helpless, we're across the globe. We're not in the United States, some of us are, but we're far away from the action in terms of physical action in Washington, D.C. What is it that we can do to shine the light in that region? Well, you can actually do this. And the next exercise we'll deviate from our usual quick coherence technique, and I'll take you through what's called a heart lock-in technique. And we are going to send our energy, our heart energies, to areas that are in most need of that, wherever that may be for where you are. You may want to send it to the Middle East. You may want to send it to your neighbor. You may want to send it to Washington, D.C. Whatever your intention is, if we begin to focus this, it will get there. So let us not waste any more time, and let us do this. I will add one more step, two more steps actually to this. So we'll begin, first of all, with placing our awareness in the area of our heart. We'll take slow, deep breaths and visualize these flowing in and out of your heart. Take a deep breath in. Exhale. Wonderful. Keep breathing in this order. And now activate a positive feeling and visualize these amazing feelings flowing in and out of your heart. The reason you want this amazing emotion to flow in is because you want to replace any feeling you have in your heart with this amazing emotion. Remember, the heart is also a receptor of emotions. So continue to breathe positive emotions and wash out all the other emotions that are causing you grief and anxiety. Bring the positive emotions into your heart. And as you exhale, beam out this transmuted energy, this wonderful energy out through your heart and recharge your magnetic field around you. So now you've got amazing emotions flowing in and out of your heart. And these emotions are that of joy, compassion, love, exhilaration. And now we'll take you to a building block, the next building block, which is called the heart lock-in technique. And that heart lock-in technique involves 2 more steps. So as you're feeling this amazing energy in your heart, I want you to radiate that energy. Visualize all that energy nourishing each and every one of your cells. So allow it to radiate from the heart down to the tips of your toes and from the heart to the top of your head. Just visualize this energy flowing right through your body, in and out of your body. Because what you're doing is you're quenching every cell in your body with this wonderful, loving energy. And now you're completely immersed in this bubble of care, compassion, and love and appreciation. And the more that are doing this at the same time that we are, the more that are doing this, the more effect it has. And now the last step we want to do in this case is now we want to visualize this. Imagine all this energy radiating out into the region that you want it to radiate to. And it doesn't have to be what's happening today, because this is a multi-dimensional energy. You can send it out into your future to help you with something that you're about to do in the future, that you will need this energy when you are not able to muster it for yourself during that time. Or you can send it in the now to regions of trouble or to people. So begin to beam this loving energy down anywhere you want and create this amazing feeling in your body. And there are 2 things that are happening right now. The first thing is your body is beginning to respond to this love and compassion are flooding in your body. It is responding by gifting you with longer life. And this is just physiology. This is actually biology. You are now nourishing your body with anti-aging, rejuvenating hormones just by doing this. Forget what's happening around you. Forget the effect you're having on mass consciousness of the region you're focusing this energy on. But your body is beginning to respond to you saying, I love life. I love myself. And with that loving energy, as you're beaming it out to regions of the globe that need it, all those individuals who are rising up against oppression, whether that is in Washington, D.C., or whether that is in Egypt, or Syria, or the Philippines, Haiti, wherever there is strife and anger and frustration, they are feeling this very energy that you're sending them. They may not be able to rationalize what they're feeling, but somewhere there is a tear shed from somebody who's felt compassion because of the work you're doing and you will continue doing. So I honor each and every one of you for the wonderful work you're doing right now and for joining me this morning or this afternoon, wherever you may be, and for sending and sharing with me this lovely energy that you're beaming out from your heart, the biggest magnetic field generator in your body. And that wraps up this 15 minutes this morning. I just have one ask of you. I have a little bit of a survey. And did you know that your heart can shift world consciousness? I would love to hear from you before you sign off, whether you feel that you already knew this or this was new for you. So thank you for adding to the survey. Fantastic. I see. Ah, lovely. You can see the results in front of you. Uh, Majority so far have said, yes, I knew that my heart could shift world consciousness. And having that understanding already in your heart makes it much more easier for you to actually participate in this. There was someone who said, I had no idea, but it makes sense. That's wonderful. It resonated with you. Sometimes we don't have the scientific data to back up anything we feel, but we trust our guts and say, you know what, this resonates with me. So thank you, Janet. Thank you. Yes, this is so. Thank you so much. Now, this is the end of the formal portion of it. We can go into the Q&A. If anyone has any questions on this, we are happy to do the Q&A right now. So bring on any questions you have. I was reading while people may be typing in their questions. I was reading early this morning news that a lot of the executive orders, if those who are interested, is happening in the United States with the Trump administration. A lot of the executive orders had to be watered down by the Republican Congress. And the reason that it had to be watered down is because of the local and grassroots uprising that's taking place, where there was a movement to actually reduce the powers of the ethics committee and the politicians who are lawmakers essentially that implement the executive order. They couldn't bring themselves to doing that because of the uprising. So a lot of the work that people are doing from the uprising to shining their hearts is taking form. And we don't have to, marry ourselves to we are doing this because we want a certain outcome. Whenever we shine our hearts, it's not that we're shining our hearts and saying, universe, I only want this outcome. The outcome may surprise you, or it may not be the one that you are hoping to happen, but the outcome will be for the best of humanity. You can only create that anger and anxiety where you can push anything through. And it is that you find strength within when you're pushed against a wall. And that's when times people really find their strength within, is when they stand up for themselves. So it's an opportunity. If we were to look at this from a consciousness perspective, that Donald Trump is a light worker. He is a light worker in a sense because that light worker is hearing the ability of humankind to get off the fence and to take a stand for what they believe, whatever they want to believe in. They may believe in oppression, and it may be an expression of something that leads to oppression, or they believe in an expression that leads to change for something that benefits humanity. So you can think of people who are adversaries, that in your traditional sense of adversaries or foes, as really light workers that help others find the strength within to step up. And once you find that strength within, you never go back. You can never put the toothpaste back in the tube. You can never unring the bell. So how many people around the globe are beginning to get off the fence and saying, no more. This is what we want. We want a different world. And once you have that uh, power within you that just erupts, you're unstoppable. And so I consider Donald Trump to be a light worker of sorts, if you can believe that or not. Maria, you have a comment. It says, as Christ says, expect the most benevolent outcome. Absolutely. And that's where the intention is. We want to expect the most benevolent outcome. We may see a certain unfolding in the world as something that's negative, but really all it is just a catalyst for the next change. It's a catalyst for someone to step forward, the Martin Luther Kings of the world, the Gandhis of the world, to step forward and actually beam their heart and show us who they are and lead us out of this. So wonderful. Lane, yes, I like that, shining our hearts. And she likes Maria's comments. Yes, it is shining your heart. That's exactly what this is to shine your heart. But remember that the steps that I took you through in this whole sequence of heart locking technique. And it is a deliberate technique. It is actually a scientific backing to this technique we won't go into right now. But the first technique was, after we got into the quick coherence technique, is to radiate every cell in our body, every we have about 100 trillion cells in our body, is to radiate every cell in our body with this nourishing energy. Why is that? It's because if we don't love ourselves first, we can't love anybody else. We need to build the capacity to love ourselves. And so the very key step in this process is radiate that heart loving energy to each cell of our own body. It's like when you're in an airplane and there's they're giving you a safety talk. They say when the oxygen mask comes down, you want to put it on yourself first before the one next to you. And there's a reason for that from that perspective, but there's also a reason for that when you're actually shining your heart out to the world. And that reason is that you want to create that love within you. Because if you create the love within you, if you don't love yourself, how are you going to love somebody else outside of you? And so that is very important. Wonderful. If there are no comments or no questions, I'm happy to have you continue this practice. Remember, 15 minutes a day is all you need to make a measurable difference in your life. So I don't see any more questions being typed up, and therefore I will bid you adieu. We'll have a chat next week, and I look forward to connecting with you. Thank you so much for sharing your energy this morning with me or this afternoon where you are. Thank you for your comments, everyone. Thank you, Maria. Thank you all. Have a good, wonderful week, and stay warm for those of us who are in the freeze. Bye bye.